Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Reasonable Doubt, Season 2, Episode 5. So let's get to it, shall we? I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It's like you can hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show starts with both Jax and Lewis having a hard time processing this case for two very separate reasons, though. Jax is just stressed out because it's her good friend that's on, she has her life in her hands, I guess. Lewis is stressed because he knows that Tony might get pulled into this case and, she might be pregnant by him. They can't sleep. Lewis actually texts Tony and tells her that we need to talk. Then Lewis also calls his brother. What am I going to do about this? And at first his brother is kind of teasing him, but once he finds out that Lewis ain't really in a teasing mood, he tells him, listen, you need to find out if it's yours. And you need to find that out before Jax finds out through the case. He was just like, okay, good, because he texted her. And he was like, you texted her? Oh my God, let me ask you, how do you have her name in your phone, Tony? Because Lewis is not a player, obviously. I mean, even anybody that's not a damn player should know better than that. He was like, first of all, change the name in the damn phone. Secondly, please don't call her no more. Deal with your wife, not with your mistress. Now, Jax goes to visit Chanel in the hospital, in the jail, because she wants to find out what she knows about Evan. Seems like she doesn't really know much. He was JT's business manager. He seemed like an enabler of JT's, a moocher. He had a lot of those kind of people around him. Jax was just like, oh, and not Adrian? Jax feels like she might be protecting Adrian, from this murder charge. All right, the math ain't mathing for her, girl. Let me just ask you, be straight up. Did you kill JT? Oh, honey, why she asked Chanel that? Chanel was just like, you must really hate black women. That probably is the reason why you didn't have any black women clients. Do you ask your male clients whether or not they killed somebody? She's trying to flip the script on Jax. And I was just like, to me, that seems like that would be a pretty normal question to ask anybody before you get started representing. I guess Chanel felt like, Jax should know her better. I couldn't figure out where the vitriol was coming from, but maybe Chanel was feeling defensive because maybe there's a little truth to this. Not necessarily Adrian, but you protecting somebody, girl. Anyway, Jax already reads through Chanel. Girl, you can miss me with the deflection. Yes, I ask everybody if I feel like maybe they lying to me. I do ask them whether or not they did something. So don't even go there. It ain't really that deep, Chanel. Chanel was just like, you know what? Stop it. I killed him and that's it. You need to focus on me and that's it. Again, it's obvious that Chanel is protecting somebody. People were saying that it's the cousin. I'm actually thinking that it's not the cousin. I think she would have probably let the cousin take the rap. I think it's one of them kids. So then Jax takes it to the team. All right, she's talking to Crystal. Is that her name? Yeah, Crystal and Corey, and they're just kind of running it. She's running it by them that Chanel seems like she might be protecting somebody. Corey, being a defense attorney, it just was strange to me that Corey was just so absolutely against the fact that it could be possibly somebody else. It's just sort of like, would a regular defense attorney just cut out all other options? Because he was adamant, no, it's Chanel, not nobody else. But like I said, Crystal believes in Jax's premonition a little bit, okay? Yeah, that part when he was like so adamant about it, it kind of felt like that's the writing trying to direct the audience. You can kind of figure these things out. And of course, when Corey gets Jax by herself a little later, he tells her like, listen, I know that's your friend and everybody, but I am running this case. We're not focusing on whether or not she's covering up for somebody else. We are only focusing on the self-defense case. Now, speaking of Adrian, we see Adrian talking to Evan, and Evan, of course, still wants his damn money. Does she know about me and you, our relationship, or does she know that you're trying to protect the bullshit? Adrian is just like, no, she don't know nothing about it. Listen, I want this shit over too. She got great lawyers, all right? It's about to go to court and everything is going to be done. She should be free soon. Then he can get to the money. But listen, Adrian about getting tired of this threats every time he see Evan. Because you know what? You ain't the only one around here that know how to work a gun, cuz. I can do the same thing. Yeah, Adrian said he got a little touch of crazy too. And Evan was like, oh, hold on. Let's calm it down. I know we both a little under stress right now. Everything is going to be okay. We just need to get on the same page. Adrian is not scary to me. However, Adrian is obviously getting more desperate. And desperate people are usually unpredictable. Now let's jump over to Jax and Lewis. So, she's at home and she's watching the tapes of everything, the interview that Chanel did with the reporter girl. And she freezes it right when they're talking about the pregnancy of Tony. Jax is just telling Lewis, like, I cannot believe that girl surprised us. Like, we had no idea that this girl Tony was even pregnant by JT or anything. He was like, you think that Tony's gonna get pulled in on the case? She was just like, yeah, she'll probably have to testify now that it was brought up in this interview. Have you talked to Tony? No, she ain't talked to Tony, but she's sure she'll see her in the carpool lane or something sometime soon. All the things that Lewis definitely does not want to hear. Jax is just casually talking about Tony. She gets up and she goes to the kitchen. She's about to make her another plate or something, and Lewis's phone rings. Okay. And he's not answering the phone. She was just like, oh, you might want to answer that. That could be somebody important. Oh, yeah. Hello. Okay. Of course it's Tony. Of course the damn screen says Tony. I said, you just don't listen to your brother. You stupid. You must want to get caught. So, hello. Oh, yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah. We can talk about that tomorrow. Of course, Tony is just like, oh, is Jax around? You actually tell me to call you. And then when I call you, you can't talk. Yep. I'll talk to you tomorrow about that. All right, thank you. I was just like, if Jax was paying attention, she would know that Lewis was over there faking the funk. It's just like, oh, Lewis, you cheat so badly. People that cheat badly just don't need to cheat. Now, we see the team. They are actually meeting with like a strategist, and they're just trying to figure out like the statistics of whether or not who is feeling sympathetic towards Chanel. Black women feel sympathetic towards Chanel. Men, of course, are going to sway in JT's in JT's way. So, this is just them trying to figure out what a potential jury might and might not believe. So the strategist leaves, and Jax was just like, oh, Corey, I know you've been working on your opening statement. I can look it over if you want to. Nope, I don't need you to look anything over. Everything is going just fine. Thank you very much. Remember, he is first chair. He got it. You know who having a hard time though? Lucy, the prosecutor. Yeah, they're putting the pressure on her. Like, we need this win. We don't need any kind of embarrassment or anything. And well, you can't guarantee any kind of win in any kind of case, right? So I'm guessing Lucy is stressed too. But let's get to court, y'all. So the first day of court, we see Jax and Corey sitting at the table with Chanel, okay, representing her. And then of course we see the state prosecution, Lucy, and her team sitting over on the other side. So, Lucy gets up there, and of course she's going to paint Chanel as a calculating murderer, a woman who's planned this murder and then used the system as her alibi. You need to remember who is on trial here. JT is not. He might have been a horrible person, but he ain't on trial right now. Chanel is, okay? And she's going to be able to prove without a reasonable doubt that she was committing this first-degree murder. Then Corey gets up there and he get to quoting Malcolm X, saying how black women is the most unrespected, unprotected, most neglected person in America. He said that she suffered all of the abuses and that her life was in danger. Did she plan on killing this man? No. She planned on leaving. But he made that impossible for her to do. And so it was either going to be her or him. So that's why they there today. Please find her not guilty of murder. All right. So then we're off to the races. So they start calling up all of the different people, the medical examiner, a police officer, the investigator on the case. And the forensics person was like, yeah, he was hit in the back of the head. And they was like, the back of the head, that usually implies that somebody was walking away. And I was just like, yeah, Chanel, that was the problem that I was having. Remember when they showed the first scenario when supposedly she had killed him and he was walking away and she hit him in the back of the head? I was like, that shit is going to be hard to prove. I knew it was going to be a problem. However, when Corey gets up there, he's questioning the forensics person and he asks, did she have a bunch of skin under her nails, JT skin? And she said I can't get my words out. The forensics person said, yes, actually she did have skin under her nails, which is indicative of, you know, maybe she was getting choked out and so she was reaching up to the person trying to, you know, get them off of her and scratch them all up. So, I mean, I guess that helps a little bit. I was just like, that still ain't quite the same, but okay. But so far, it looks like both sides are doing a good job of kind of proving their case. You know, we're just trying to get through the case. So they take a break. And Jax is over there getting interviewed by the reporters, you know, and Corey is just like, God damn it, I'm first chair. He don't like that mess. So he pulled her to the side when she finished and he was like, let me remind you again, baby, you was second chair, not the first, okay? I'm the daddy. So I'm going to need you to not do the interviews. I'm going to be the face of this case, okay? Oh, okay. Has anybody noticed that Corey's character is not consistent each episode? Like, I'm trying to figure out what Corey exactly is going to be. Is he going to be nice to Jax? Is he going to be attracted to Jax? Is he going to be mad at Jax all the time? Like, every episode is a different kind of person. It's kind of throwing me off. I don't really know what exactly Corey is feeling half of the time. Maybe it's just me. All I'm saying is he seemed aggravated with her this whole episode. Now, later on, we see Corey. You know, Corey is in his office and he's trying to prepare for the case, I guess, for the next day. It's late in the evening, and then a couple of the partners come in there and was just like, hey, Corey, you know, come on, let's go out and have some drinks. You know, we about to go get a few drinks. He, oh, no, I got to get prepared for tomorrow. And they were like, oh, okay. You know, Corey then realizes, oh, maybe it's not the time to be offending the partners here. Okay, sometimes you got to play along to get along, y'all. So he was just like, on second thought, do you guys like cigars? Of course they do. So next scene, we see them there at the cigar bar. You know, Corey is telling them how his good friend is the one that opened the cigar bar, you know, because they love it so much. He was like, yeah, you know what? They don't even let white people in here usually. Okay, he kind of let them in as a favor, you know. And they kind of was looking at him like, really? And he was like, I'm just fucking with y'all. You know, they're talking. And of course, the case comes up and they say how, you know, Jax is an amazing lawyer and all, but, you know, how's he getting along with it? And he was just like, yeah, you know, Jax is an amazing lawyer, but she's kind of difficult, you know, kind of hard to work with, you know, doesn't really communicate well. You know, he's telling all the things. And I was just like, oh, wow, Corey. You gonna stab old girl in the back like that? So he tells them all this because he wants them to help him, you know, get Jax to be a little bit more amenable. Because this is a big case, and damn it, the firm needs this win as well. Now let's jump on over to Lewis. All right, Lewis pulls his son aside. Listen, I know you've been upset with me lately and everything, but listen, I was thinking about this. How about you drop out of the school that you in right now, and we put you over in this school for the arts? And his son was like, yeah, you know, maybe in new semester he'll try it. And he was like, no, I'm talking about like now. We can apply now. Oh, word? Yeah, word. I was just like, Lewis, did you talk to Jax about this? Jax is home, and Jax is actually talking to the daughter, and the daughter's down in the dumps because, well, Grandma has a new boyfriend. We haven't seen much of Grandma this season, okay? But, yeah, she has a new boyfriend, but she don't really like him. And Jax is like, why not? Did something happen? Because, you know, Jax already, the radar is up because of what the other man did to Jax. And the daughter's like, no, he didn't do anything. You know, it's just that she misses Grandpa Paul or whatever his name was, you know. And Jax was like, I know, I understand, okay? But he's not here anymore. And Grandma got to get her groove on too. Actually, no, Jax is not really feeling this because Granny didn't tell her that she was seeing somebody else, you know. So Jax now, she got to do a background check on old boy. Next day, Jax calls her mother, and her mother was like, so which one of the kids told you? Okay, girl, don't worry about why they told me anything. You need to tell me why you didn't tell me. Oh, girl, Jax, you busy over there, and it's nothing to worry about. He's a nice guy and all this. Yeah, Jax was just like, okay, well, we gonna see if he a nice guy. I said, girl, the way your mama meddled in your life all last season seems like you would be happy that she got somebody to take her damn attention away, and that she might actually be happy and with a good guy this time. Anyway, while she's on the phone with her, Crystal comes in there and tells her like, hey, the fellas, the partners, a couple of them want to talk to you. Okay, Jax was just like, oh, okay. So she gets off the phone and she goes in there, hey, fellas, what's up? What can I do you for? And they was just like, oh, you know, we just went out with Corey yesterday and we was talking to him and everything. And he told us that you was a bitch. No, they didn't say that. They basically said that, but the nice way. How about you just kind of make life a little easier for him around here? You know, help him out. We trying to win this case. We don't need you being difficult in the background. She was just like, do I need my knee pads for this? And they was like, no, just tickle his balls a little bit. Jax didn't see anything funny. After she finishes with them, she tells Daniel that she's going to have Crystal set up a meeting with Evan, just trying to figure out exactly where Evan fits in all of this right here. Now, we see Jax and Lewis in a therapy session. All right. And the therapist is real happy. Like, boy, it looks like you guys are finally getting on pretty good here. Communicating and all. Yes, things are really, really good between the two of them. They sitting so close together. And, but Jax has to mention the fact that Lewis, he went up to the son and told him about changing schools and hadn't even talked to Jax about it. I knew that was going to be an issue. Okay. And she was just like, he likes to be the good person. He likes to be the good guy to the kids all the time. And it ends up making me look like the bad person when I have to go against something that he's already told them. So Lewis was starting to get a little offended by that. And she was just like, no, I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm just trying to explain to you, like, I wish you would come to me first before you go to the kids, because again, she don't want to look like the bad guy. And Lewis was like, okay, I accept that. And I was like, well, look at here. Progress showing its face here. Okay, maybe Jax and Lewis are going to be good. And then the damn camera cuts to Lewis meeting with Tony in the dark of the night. And Tony was just like, you know what? Cut the bullshit. I already know why you wanted to talk to me. Okay, you didn't know about the baby, right? Yeah, he knows about the baby. She was just like, everybody knows after that stupid ass interview. And it's made her life difficult. Well, Lewis just needs to know if it's his kid. And she was just like, it ain't your kid. He was like, well, how do you know that? And she was just like, listen, you with Jax, right? JT is dead, right? Okay, I'm the only one that wants this baby right now, so it don't even matter. Don't even worry yourself about it. Tony was just like, I'm moving on with my life, and I'm not going to say nothing about whether or not you might be the one or JT is the one. We just going to leave it the way it is. Okay, so your secret is safe with me. And Lewis was like, okay, looked very relieved. And I was just like, all right, now we can move on from that storyline. I was like, boy, that was pretty easy. Yeah, we'll talk about that again later. We see Jax talking to her girls. They all out at dinner. Jax, Sally, the cousin, and the other friend. And Jax is telling them how she feels like Chanel is lying about something, that she done covered up something, and that she... And the other friend, not Sally, the other friend was just like, you know what? I had a feeling that something was not right too. I'm just like trying to look at the whole picture, the whole scenario. Something ain't the math ain't mathing for her either. Sally was just like, I didn't think I was going to be coming to dinner with some people that was going to be accusing my cousin of lying about anything. She's all upset. And they're like, wait a minute, girl, hold on. We just talked. No, you know what? I'm leaving. Oh, girl, you ain't got to leave. And so now I can see why people are going to start leaning towards Sally's way of thinking that Sally did it. I guess Sally is still a pretty good person to possibly say that she did it. But I feel like that the writers want us to think that it's Sally, and that we should be thinking that Adrian, that Jax is starting to, suspect. That they want us to have that whole thing, and they want the big shocker to be that it's somebody completely who we're not thinking about. So that's why I'm thinking that it's going to be that oldest child. But again, we'll see. Now, the next day in court, we got that strange looking mama of JT's up on the stand. I was like, look at her. She looked real evil. I don't know if it's her eyebrows. They so shot up in her forehead, or the way that she's always just like, and I was just like, ooh, she's scary looking. Anyway, of course, the mama's all upset, like she killed my baby, my son, It's a whole big performance up there. They were like, did you ever see JT, hit Chanel? And she's like, no, never. And Chanel screams out, what about my black eyes? Of course, we cannot have Chanel screaming out in court like that. She does it twice. Finally, Corey was just like, you know what, Your Honor, can we have a recess? And Your Honor was like, yeah, we can take a 10-minute break, but you know what, get control of your damn client. So they go back in the back, and Chanel's all worked up. Like, that bitch is the one that gave me the Gucci glasses to cover my my black eyes. And Corey is like, yeah, we understand, and we know that the mama can probably work your nerves pretty good and all, but listen, we don't need you to be up here doing that in court. The judge does not like those kind of outbursts in front of the jury. She's also pissed that the grandmother brought the kids to court today, which, why would you bring the kids unless you was really trying to, unless you was really trying to be slick anyway. Yeah, they gonna make sure that the kids ain't in the courthouse anymore. And Chanel was just like, I refuse to have my children be abused like that mama did to JT. And they was like, oh, the mama used to abuse JT? All right. Y'all know that apple don't fall too far from the tree. So we get back in court. And Corey now is up there asking the questions to the mama. And he brings up the abuse. And the lady was just like, I've never abused my son. Oh, no? Well, what about the cigarette burn on his thigh? She was like, that was an accident. The mama was rattled. Somebody actually said that they thought maybe the mother was the one that did it. And I was like, absolutely not the mother. Because why would Chanel cover up for that mother? For her? No, the mother is not a suspect, y'all. Now, let's cut over to Jax. Jax goes to see Evan, all right, at his office. And she comes in and she was just like, oh, boy, you got a lot of security around. And he was just like, well, you just never know. You can never be too safe. What can I do you for? She asked questions about, just his operation, what he does there, and really more so his relationship with Adrian. He was just like, well, he used to be a client, but now he's just more of like an associate. Like, well, you know how it is. Some people present one way and then things change and they also change and they present a different way. And he didn't like the different way he presented. So that's how that happened. But you know what? I gotta go. He gets up and he leaves. Next scene, we see that he go and hightail it on down to the jailhouse because now he got to talk to Chanel. So he tells her how he helping her with this case and damn it, he want his money. She was like, I don't know what money you even talking about, but I ain't got no money. He said, oh, yes, you do. You got a lot of money. You just don't know about it right now. But you need to talk to your boyfriend, Adrian, because he got a story to tell you, girl. Jax goes to talk to Daniel. He done found out that there's this overseas gambling site that JT used to spend a lot of money on. He actually made a whole bunch of money on this gambling site. He made more money on the gambling site than he did as a football player. As a retired football player, I should say. So Daniel still hasn't been able to pull up the parallels, but he says that Adrian is definitely involved in here and maybe he's just in over his head. And then he tells her, oh yeah, and I checked up on your mama's man. He's all good, all on the up and up. Okay, Jax is still suspicious. He was like, Jax, there's just some people out there that are good people. Now, because Jax went to talk to Evan, and then Evan went to talk to Chanel, I'm sure Chanel talked to Adrian and was mad about the fact that Evan was doing all of this, okay? So now Adrian is pissed. He goes to confront Evan like, I told you not to involve Chanel. I was going to get you your money. This is between me and you. And Evan was just like, no. This is between all of us. And you know what? I'm glad that she knows now because you've been fucking playing. Adrian, stay the fuck away from Chanel. He would hate to bury another friend. And Evan was just like, oh, what is this? Oh, you know what? I've never seen this side of you. Not even when you was out in the field. But you know what? You in the house now. And you need to calm the fuck down. And your girl, Jax, you need to do something about her too because she asking too many questions. She needs to be contained and you need to do what you need to do to make sure she's quiet about this. Back to Jax. So Jax finally is able to get Corey seated long enough to ask him, like, what did you tell the partners when y'all went out for these cigars and drinks? And he was just like, I just kind of told them, you might be a little hard to work with a little bit and maybe, she could just soften up a little. But listen, Jax, he needs to win this case. All right. He has to win this case. You are a brilliant lawyer, but I am a brilliant lawyer too. Or otherwise you wouldn't even have brought me on. Just know that I got it. And she was just like, okay, Jax finally comes around. But of course, Jax is the one that has to explain to Corey, like, we can't let the white boys get in between us. Okay, ain't too many of us around. Hey, and he was like, yeah, let's root for everybody black. Okay, he gets it as well. Maybe he shouldn't have said what he said to the fellas. Well, let's just be friends, all right? So they light up their cigars, and now they having a cigar together. He said, let me ask you a question. Did Brandon do it? And she just kind of smiles at him. He was just like, now we back on the same page again. And of course, you can feel the tension building once again. Now, back at the house, Jax and Lewis is the happy family, the happy couple, the happy parents. They present this letter to Spencer. And looks like Spencer did get into this School of the Arts and he will be going there now. Okay, Spencer is so happy. They so proud as parents that they was able to do this together. Okay, this worked out perfectly. Again, it's a wonderful night. They have a wonderful session in bed. Okay, very passionate filled. And while Jax is enjoying herself immensely, it looks like his mind is somewhere else. I was like, oh God, Lewis, what is this about to be? Well, what it's about to be is when he finishes, he goes and he texts Tony and says, you know what? I changed my mind. I gotta know if it's mine. Let me tell you how irritated I was with that. First of all, I understand that Lewis is supposed to be this stand-up man, you know, who all convictions and values and morals and all of this. But really, Lewis, the guilt is obviously killing him. Why did you do it if you knew you wasn't going to be able to see it all the way through? You trying to be in this relationship with Jax. You trying to have this happy family. The girl gave you a fucking out and said, this baby not yours. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to say anything. Do you want to be with Jax and your kids or not? Why would you go and send that text message to that girl? Okay, this probably makes me sound like a shitty person and everything, but I was just like, that shit was done and out of your hair. Why are you now needing to know whether or not this child is yours? And I said, you stupid, and this is the reason why you not fixing to be with Jax. And this is the reason why you gonna push Jax into the arms and the bed of Corey. All right, because she gonna find out, she gonna be pissed off, and Corey's gonna be in the right place at the right damn time. And you stupid, and you deserve it. Because what is wrong with you? Okay? We already know that this girl done fucked somebody else on way less reasons why. It's the same thing that she did with the Michael Ealy guy. Now you all sit up here and ask this girl, what is wrong with Lewis? What is wrong with him? He's so stupid. I was just like, oh my God. I said, you know what? You deserve everything that's about to happen to you in your relationship now. If you was gonna be all of this, you should have never fucked that girl. Stupid ass. Shit. But anyway, moving on from that. Next day, Jax is at work and Adrian calls. You know what? He wants to meet up with Jax. You know, can they talk? And she was just like, yeah. So when she hangs up the phone, Daniel was like, you about to go meet with Adrian? She was just like, yeah. He was like, you need me to come? And she was like, no, I don't need you to. I said, girl, you better bring him. What is wrong with you? He was like, you sure you don't want me to come? That's the man that you think is actually who Chanel is covering for that killed somebody? And she was just like, oh, you know what, on second thought, yeah, you come and you sit outside. And if you don't hear from me every 6 minutes, then you call the police. Okay? Bet. So they go to the house. Daniel, I'm assuming, is outside waiting, and she goes in the house. And he's at Chanel's house, by the way, which is strange. Why is he there? But anyway, she meets him there. And when she walks in, you know, he kind of sitting across the room. She's like, hey, Adrian, you know, what's going on? He was just like, you're going to have a seat. She was like, no, I'm good. I already told y'all what that I'm good mean. You're going to do the opposite of what somebody else wants you to do. He was like, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. He stands up, and in the back of his pants, you can see the camera's behind him. You can see that he has a gun in his waistband. And I was just like, what you about to do, Adrian? Are you about to shoot Jax? Stupid. Okay. But you know what? I think they're trying to let us see that Adrian is starting to get desperate. And when people are desperate, people are crazy. All right, you guys, that is it. God, I think keep trying to make that. I said I wasn't going to be recapping, and now I am. It's just in my spirit, y'all. It's in my bones. I can't help it. But anyway, y'all, make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm Roxanne. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.